The second biggest problem I had in terms of how the gameplay felt was my use of the old movement system, right, on the player. So you can see the player has a dual rigid body and a character controller system. Yeah, character controller and a rigid body. This worked well for my A2 project, but I used it because one, it was faster to implement into this new world, but also because I wanted to show like the difference between level 1 and level 2, like how my movement has like improved. But the problem with that is that the level 1 was made just for a small area with very limited mechanics, and it doesn't work well when you're trying to make a faster platformer, right? So like, because A2 was a platformer, but it was like generally like really slow, really calm sort of thing, right? You didn't have to like time your jumps or anything. You didn't have to position yourself very, very carefully. You do have to time your jumps, but like not as the platforms fall under you, is what I mean. But yeah, I did solve that in level 2, and I like rewrote everything, started from scratch on the movement. The way I ended up solving this was I made it so that the player can actually move faster if they move sideways. So like if they're moving front and left, but if they move at the same time, they go at an angle, the player moves significantly faster than if they didn't. So they're able to like make this icicle falling area a little easier. You're able to make this jump from here, from this platform to the next platform all the way over there. While this one moves fast here, it makes that easier. And it also helps with crossing that gap over here from the grapple point, but also in the giant angler section. It also helps moving faster there. It does help in the maze, but like if the maze runner sees you, you're just you're in trouble because it moves really fast. Other than that, I think the second largest problem I had would probably be when I was because I was transferring the world from A2 to this one, right? That's how I have the movement and everything. What I ended up doing was I upgraded the world, like I changed the world, and I didn't know how much. I thought it was like maybe only like it's not very far. It's about a year difference, so I thought it wouldn't be too bad to try transferred. It was really, really bad. You had packages that were outdated that didn't work. I had error codes everywhere. I had to rewrite a large portion of some of the package scripts to make it function. I don't know if this node, because I've gotten this warning ever since I transferred a while ago, but all the node options were skipped, and a bunch of outdated nodes as well. It took me a very long time to get it to work, and at that point I had fallen victim to the sunken cost fallacy. So I'd already sunk in so much time in trying to make this world work. Might as well go through with it. So that's why I went with the level 1 movement as it is. I would have probably done it differently if I come back. I would have tried to never rewrite anything again, to be honest, if I could, because that takes, especially for just a single developer, it takes quite a while, and especially if they're like big updates to the next versions. But also because there were some nice details that I had. It offered me some nice things, such as this water exclusion. So you actually can see here that there's water around here, but there's none in this area. But yeah, this is also the hub, as I mentioned earlier in my other video, the first one. Uh, it was meant to have like a shop, and here's a trophy like system for like the 3 collectibles that's scattered in the levels. I also showed like where I would hide them as well in the gameplay video. And some in my iteration video as well. But you would have a shop, you would have like doors to levels, and then you would just have the emeralds, use them as a currency for the shop. You could buy something like a hat, for example. I don't think I have it here, but it's in another version. Maybe I still have it in the actual assets. Yeah, top hat. There we go. So you'd have this on top of the player. Oh, I do have it here. Never mind. So yeah, you just have this. You buy it from the shop, enables it. The player has a top hat. I wanted something like that to be done. Maybe implement like gameplay buff or something. Like maybe you get a bit more movement speed or something buying it from the shop. But because the hub never got implemented, I didn't really have a use for this scene. So it's just there. Just there now. But yeah, that is some of the issues I primarily faced. Those I think are the big 3 that hindered my ability to get anything other than minimal viable product, except for maybe the health pack. But I really didn't see a point in it if you just knock the player off and then they lose all their health at the bottom anyway. But it's there. The system is there if you do need it. But yeah. Really, anything other than the minimal viable product wasn't able to get out, which I think I would research a lot more into the game mechanic itself before going into it, because I wasn't aware that it was this simple to use static variables in a manager, as I did before, and I'll probably do that a lot beforehand. Especially I would like analyze my game, how much of it requires me to have a certain game mechanic that I heavily depend on. Because yeah, you could have the minimal viable product, but if you have a central like key point that the game like hangs on, or not hangs on, but if you have a central point that the game revolves around, right? Like having multiple levels, but you don't have like a section to choose it from, so you have to split it into 2 separate files. It's not really ideal. I think if you have like a system like that, you need to research it a lot more probably than I did, or not a lot more, a lot sooner than I did. I think is a better word here, because I was researching all about movement and mechanics, right, in the player, how to get like the level itself functioning, but like not the thing that I was also like pretty adamant about adding into the game, the hub itself, right? So yeah, I think that's the biggest problems I've had during development.